Good morning, options traders. Happy New Year to everyone. Steve Ganz here with a new trade concept and idea that I'm going to put in the Start to Finish series. So what I wanted to do this morning, I didn't have a preconceived notion necessarily of what I wanted to trade, but our market is pulling back a little bit. And of course, we've had a very, very bullish market. So my underlying premise is I'd like to look for something that has maybe pulled back a little bit, but that there's very bullish sentiment on it. So I figured probably one of the best ways to do this is to use the flow summary feature. So this is a feature, if you're on the very base level, you won't have this, but some of the elevated levels of optionstrat include this. It's a pretty valuable tool in my mind, so particularly if I'm looking for an idea. So I come in here this morning, I take a look, and I kind of glance down through the overall flow summary. So this is kind of showing me the bullish sentiment versus the bearish sentiment on any particular stock or options on that stock. Now, the one that pops right up to the top here, and now it's not massive volume, I'll give you that, but the one that pops right to the top here is something called Marathon Digital. Now, I have no idea what Marathon Digital is or what they do, but when I took a look at it, I can see it's, the sentiment on this thing is extremely bullish. People are buying a lot of shorter term options on this thing, which is kind of interesting. So when I look at this and I see this little indicator here is showing me that this is very, very bullish, next question that pops into my head is, well, what's this thing look like? Where's it at in a chart pattern, a technical analysis standpoint of it? This is going to be a short-term trade, so I'm not looking for something that is fundamentally based. I really don't care who they are or what they do from a fundamental standpoint. But if I come over and I take a look at a chart, I can see that this thing, first of all, it was ripping here for a number of days. Then it had a pretty significant pullback. But look at that pullback. It pulled back right to a prior peak, okay, which it blew through here on a gap up and ran, and it came all the way back and filled or close to filled this particular gap right here. Now it looks like it's starting to move back up again. So obviously there's no guarantees in trading, and I stress this is paper trading so that everyone learns the process of trading. But this looks like a good candidate for a bullish sort of trade. So the next question becomes, what kind of bullish trade do I want to consider here? And again, this is where the value of optionstrat, in my opinion, is it's phenomenal. So I come in here and I can look at different types of trades that I might want to look at. I've got my neutral trades, I've got my bullish trades, all those sorts of things. So I can look at a bull call spread, I can look at a bear put spread. Obviously, I'm to the bullish side, so it would be a bull call spread might be a logical scenario, or a bull put spread. So those are two very logical choices. Now, I'm going to lean toward the bull call spread because I want to give myself, because of the way this thing looks like it could potentially move over the next few weeks, I want to give myself a lot of upside potential on this. So that's why I'll model, in this case, a bull call spread. And I'll come in here and let's see, that was Mara, M-A-R-A. And I like the general looks of even this position. So right now, this thing's trading at about 23, 22 and a half. But again, as we notice, not too long ago, this thing was up at 28, even all the way up almost to 32. So if I want to, give that thing a little room here, I can run this thing up to 30. Now, keep in mind that where this is trading right now, if the up move on this stops, if it stalls, and I'm all the way out here in March 15th. I'm looking at a shorter term trade than that. I don't know if I want to be a short at January 19th. Well, that actually isn't bad. So my premise here has to be that this is going to move hard and fast to the upside. This is not going to present any profitability to me until I get past $24.76. So I have to have a premise that this thing is going to go up by at least another $2 between now and January 19th in order for this to be a profitable trade for me. Now, of course, I can shift this around and I can come, back here and buy something close to in the money, but I now have more risk in this trade. So every trader can come in and model this and decide where is it they would like to see their risk and reward ratio. Again, knowing that if you're buying something, for example, a 24.30 down here, this thing has to move a ways. In this case, it's got to get above $25.32. I think my prior modeling of this was at 23. So again, have to keep that in mind. But in this particular case, I look at this and I say, okay, my max risk is going to be what I pay for this, which is going to be $172. It's got a 40% chance of profit. Now, that's a mathematical 40%. That's what's calculated using the options formula. That is not factoring in my view of bullish sentiment in this underlying position. It's not factoring in the flow that we were looking at there, the fact that a lot of people seem to have a bullish opinion of this. This is simply a mathematical calculation. And we can also look at the other Greeks here, again, available not in the free level of the service, but in the more advanced levels. So this has a lot of positive delta. Well, we know that. The market's going to have to go up in order for this thing to be profitable. It is negative theta, meaning that this is going to decay out from under us. If we come back today, and this is going to be what our P&L curve looks like today, we can see that as each day advances, it's going to cost us essentially 81 cents to maintain this position. This is a call spread that we are paying money for. So if the market does not move on us, if this thing stays right where it is, we're going to be starting to lose money on this trade. So again, this is a bullish position. We have to recognize that the value of this position, the value of the underlying, is going to have to go up in order for this to be profitable for us. Now, volatility might be another area that could impact this. I really don't think that's going to be a huge factor here, but if the volatility were to drop on this, again, because of the nature of this position, volatility is not going to have much impact. But I can come in here and take a look at that easily as well and see, well, if implied volatility were to change on this, what's that going to do to my position? So at the end of the day, this is a position that I am not, just in full disclosure, again, I recommend all trades in paper. I am not making this particular trade, but it's an intriguing looking trade to me just because of the setup, because our overall market has pulled back and it's in a very bullish uptrend. So oftentimes when you get these pullbacks, you get a big rally afterwards. And probably one of the biggest factors that's of interest to me is this whole flow scenario that, it is rated as very bullish from a flow standpoint right now. So there's a lot of people out there that seem to have an opinion that this thing is going to take off in the short term, because we can see most of these are very short-term options as well. So again, based on all that, I'm going to go ahead and save this trade, and we'll just call this Bullish Flow Sentiment, and save the trade. I will provide this link in the description down below so that all of you can copy that link, pull this into your OptionStrat platform, watch it, study it, see how it performs. And also, while you're down there looking at that, please like, subscribe, give me any feedback, thoughts. So it just kind of helps us in understanding, the type of things that people want to see, like to see, and what we should be offering going forward. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care.